Hey guys, Wild Willie here. I want to talk a little bit today about tomahawks and hatchets and stuff. Until recently, I've been on the fence with them. There's so many different variations, uses, and what was I really going to use it for? What wasn't I going to use it for? What do I really want it for? My needs change, and I reevaluated the other day. I seen one in a store, and I picked it up, gave it a good look over, looked on reviews online at it before I bought it, and so on. So I did. But I just want to talk a little bit about them, actually, and I'll show you a couple different options you have. Now, tomahawks have been around for a long time. It was the Native Americans, the Algonquin people, that really monopolized them. It was basically, a stick with a sharpened stone on the top, wrapped up with rawhide. And they did use them for tools as far as hunting and chopping them to a degree, but they were also used as weapons. And they were used for peace ceremonies. They were used for a variation of things. But the tomahawk was originally designed for a weapon. And that's what it came into play. It was a weapon, whether you knew how to throw it or whether it was hand-to-hand combat. Now, the reason why I stayed away from them for quite a while and I went with other options is because I was looking at them for bushcraft, wilderness survival. And a tomahawk's not a proper weapon, or a proper tool, I should say, for bushcraft. There's other options, whether you buy a hatchet or something else. But now my needs have changed. Tomahawks have evolved quite a bit, and now they're used not only for bushcraft now, but they're also used for quite tactical reasons, as well as weapons. There's plenty of different options and plenty of different styles to choose from. A couple things I want to show you here. I want to go over this before I bought my tomahawk. This is called Charade knife, and this is more. It's almost as similar to a tomahawk. It's a lot smaller. It's got gripping on it. This you can do fine woodwork with. You can chop with this thing. This is what this is designed for, chopping and fine woodwork. As a tomahawk, most of the tactical tomahawks are not. They're not a primary bushcraft knife. I watched a lot of videos online on YouTube about tomahawks. A lot of guys doing a lot of stupid stuff with them. And one guy even went as far as said, if he had to choose his tomahawk or a good survival knife, he'd take his tomahawk. And I think that's absolutely asinine. Tomahawk's a good multi-use tool, but it's not made for chopping down trees. If you want a wilderness, something small to fit in your pouch, you can get a SOG little hatchet, you can get a Bear Grylls hatchet, you can go to your local hardware store and get a $10 hatchet. But if you want something a little more fancy, something, to cut, to fine woodwork with, but also a skinning tool and a fine cutting tool, something like this is the way to go. Now, tomahawks, this is one I bought. I bought this from Camillus. It's made by Camillus, rather. It's technically, I think more of it's a tactical tomahawk, but they've put this paracord on here. I don't know if they want to kind of brand it as a survival 20 feet of 550 paracord. Now, the reason why I went after this, usually I was using something like this. I'd carry in my bushcraft, a pocket chainsaw and something like this, a small hatchet, a good knife, and I was happy. My needs have changed with urban prepping now. This will still chop little small trees, I guess, and whatnot. I don't like the grip on it for fine woodworking, but it has different uses. This pointy end, I'm sure you can go online and watch a lot of videos. This pointy end will go through cinder block, it'll go through concrete, it'll go through metal, it'll go through a car hood. These things, any window won't be safe with this. Popping out locks on doors, simple. Simple, simple, simple. This is more of an urban tool now. I also wanted it because of the fighting factor. Tomahawk is a phenomenal weapon. This one, the length is a little bit too big for me, and the weight is a little bit too big for me as a weapon. I would choose a smaller version like this size, only in a tomahawk. It's easier for slashing, it's easier for grabbing, it's easier whatnot. This is it's not a bad weapon. This has a lot of good capability. If you watch guys that know how to throw these and know how to wheel these around like a weapon with a knife and in tandem with a knife, they make a great weapon in an urban situation. You got the ability to grab and control your opponent. You got the ability to do far reaches out. You got the ability to stab. You have the ability to swing and cut and move around. Tomahawks are not the best for wilderness survival. They can adapt, and if it's better than nothing, sure, I would take a tomahawk. You can cut small trees with them. I mean, if you get a good tomahawk with good steel, yeah, as long as you're keeping the blade sharp, you can cut trees with them. You can cut cordage. But this is more of an urban prepper's tool for breaking chain link fence, popping locks, popping windows, prying doors, getting into situations like that, self-defense. It's more the tomahawk. And of course, if you're the zombie apocalypse nut, you probably have 10 of these already. So just my recommendation, guys, if you're going to buy a tomahawk, really consider what your uses are going to be for it. Yeah, they're kind of cool to carry around in the bush, but they're not exactly compact. They hang off your waist if you don't tie them on your pack. They can be cumbersome walking around with them. I consider this to more, like I said, it's an urban tool, an urban weapon than a bushcraft. If you want to go bushcraft, like I said, have a really good bushcraft knife. That's number one. And get yourself a hatchet, or get yourself a charade-style axe, tomahawk-style knife. Don't just go with this as your primary bushcraft weapon, because if you do, you're an idiot. It might go through logs, no problem. This is not what it's designed for. This is designed to fight with, designed to get you out of urban situations. Like I said, cutting through cinder block, cutting through steel, cutting through car hoods, smashing any window you want, popping locks and stuff like that. Yeah, you can, cutting small chain, even chain link fence. This is what this is for. So really consider, guys. I'm happy with my purchase, and I will monopolize it, I hope, doing urban stuff. I really want to test it out, give it through the go-through. Whether I post that or not, there's a ton of YouTube videos of guys chopping dead wood and stuff with it, but whatever. So, like I said, consider your uses before you go one. Do you really need one or not? Or do you just want one? Anyways, I'm Wild Willie, and I got to get trucking. Remember, it's not a question if this shit's going to hit the fan. It's a question of when. So always be prepared.